This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 200. Alex, we made it. 200 episodes. We have reviewed 200 action movies, and we've only touched the tippy surface of the amount of movies. Episode number 200 of the Action Movie Guys podcast. I'm your host, Nate. This is my co-host,
Alex Figueroa.
And this week, we were hoping maybe something very special would fall on number 200, but it didn't work out that way. We still got a fun movie to talk about, though, from 2002. We're going to be doing a little movie called Dog Soldiers. This is Neil Marshall, his first directorial movie. Got a cast full of British people that you've seen before. Alex was a first-time watch. Me was not, but we watched this one together. So we're going to be reviewing it now. And before we do that, normally we ask, hey, when's the last time you saw it? But as I just told you, Alex has never seen this. It was a first-time watch for him. So I'm very eager, even though I watched it with him, I'm eager to get his after-the-fact thoughts now that we are going to review it. Before we do, let's give you some Rotten Tomatoes scores. You know how we do around here. Alex, this thing got pretty good scores, especially compared to last episode, where it had a double 33. Dog Soldiers has an 81% critic score and a 79% audience score. They're almost the same, but much higher than 33. 81 and 79.
Yeah, that's actually really good. I'm looking at it here.
Yeah, so for a low-budget creature feature action movie, pretty solid. But they don't, those scores don't really mean much because we are going to give you our take on Dog Soldiers. So, Alex, you get to go first. In this case, we're going to be breaking down lead character. Now, he has a very, very crazy name. It's Cooper. He has one name. It's Cooper. He's played by Kevin McKidd. This movie has, again, actors, a lot of British, all British, and you've seen them in stuff. Game of Thrones, Rome. This guy was in the show Rome on HBO. Like, they've been in things, but Gotham. Yeah. So please, Cooper, as well as you can remember, take it away. What is your review on him?
All right. So let's go. Let's just give I'm just going to give a side note here. When we watched this in my house, we were all drinking. So let's just I'm going to be really 100% honest with you. We were all drinking. We were having fun.
Yeah.
But I do remember a lot of the film because this had a lot of unique stuff.
Too. We were yelling a lot.
Yeah. So a lot of the dialogue we have not heard much of.
I don't remember anything they said.
No, but we did watch the film.
Yeah.
Cooper, from what I remember, he was actually really good. He was a very hands-on army guy because it was a military guys that were going in and werewolves just came out of the way. They were training.
They were doing a training mission.
They were doing a training mission, but all of a sudden wolves just started to appear, which we would talk about in the storyline. But he was really good. He commanded the screen. He was very well with the platoon. I'll be honest with you. He wasn't overreacting like the other ones. Remember the other guy that was an overreactor? That was one of my favorite scenes. We'll talk about it in the action sequence. But he kept everything together. I mean, I can't talk much more because it was a very British, it was heavy British language. I watched Sherlock Holmes with my man Cumberpatch. So that was very high dialogue in the British department. Yeah. But I enjoyed him. I thought he was really good. Him and the girl had very good chemistry from what I remember. The chick that lured them there. I thought they were really good together. Him and the mates, they were good. Presence on screen, like I said, and this action sequences, he was actually really good. Now, this was a 2002 film. Now, this is not crazy on the action like in other action movies, but since it's the first movie, I'll give it for the benefit of the doubt in terms of the action sequences. So for me, it fit, and he did actually really good. So I gave him a 3. I thought he was good.
You know what? We're on the same page here. I really like this movie, but I can't sit here and give this lead character like a 4 or a 5 because there's no backstory, none. There's no. He is literally just a soldier in a platoon doing a training mission. Now, he does step up as the movie goes on. Like Alex said, things start going down and the actual leader of the group, something happens to him that we'll talk about later. And this guy pretty much becomes the leader or takes that kind of role. And I thought he was good. It seemed like all the other guys in his group respected him. He had a great look. Kevin McKidd is like a good actor. He's cool. I like him usually. He got a good presence. So he was a little bit younger here, but he was still really good. He was good in the action scenes. And if you notice, I'm just saying he's good a lot. And a good is a 3. You know what I mean? Like he's not, this is not a role where you're like, wow, I'm really going to sink my teeth into this performance. It's a lot of running, jumping, yelling, shooting. And, there's some dialogue early where they're like walking around doing the training mission and you get the camaraderie, but not enough to give him like a huge score. So even though he plays the role fine, it's just a 3 for the lead character. He's, it is what it is. Okay, now, villain. Now, there is a main villain. He's played by my man Davos Seaworth from Game of Thrones. His name in this movie is Ryan. Oh, everybody got one name in this movie. He's Ryan. The actual actor, if you want to know, Liam Cunningham is his name. He's great. He's great on Game of Thrones. He's young. He had black hair. He didn't have white hair. So, little different look. But really, the villains are werewolves. He's just the captain of them. So, I guess scored the whole thing in total.
Oh, okay. All right. So if I'm going to go down that route, I give it a 5. I think, well, first of all, he commanded the screen. I'm not going to even lie to you. When I do see that kind of guy, I do see Game of Thrones because his British accent and his face, that's the role that I think of is the Game of Thrones. So when you see any Game of Thrones character, you go, oh, that's the guy from Game of Thrones. So anyway, he was really good in the movie. I'll be honest with you, all his scenes were top notch with him and all the guys that he came in contact with. Even in the scenes when the wolves are attacking and he's there all hurt, he was really good there too, to be honest with you. The transformation scene of my man turning into a wolf was awesome. It reminded me of like those old school werewolf movies, like Michael Jackson's Thriller. Remember when he turns into a wolf?
Yeah.
I know it looks corny or whatever, but that whole prosthetic, because it's John Landis, so you saw all the prosthetics popping out and it's all cool, no CGI.
His eyes get contacts.
Green, it was like yellow, like cats.
Yeah.
That's you get a 5 in my book when I see contacts. It's cool. It's not CGI. It worked for me. I think he did a great job as a wolf. We got the other guy who turns into a wolf too and blows his ass up in the house later on in the movie, which we'll talk about in the storyline. Again, he was very good. The wolves looked fantastic. We were talking about this even when we were drinking and we were laughing and we were eating. The wolves looked so well on a low ass budget. I mean, I don't know what the budget was because this thing looked so cheap and you could tell they look like they filmed it in a backyard in someone's house. But
true.
It was very cheap, but the wolves looked so good. It reminded me of those American Werewolf in London type wolves, but very prosthetic, very practical, not prosthetic, very practical wolves. Yeah. But there was some scenes that we were laughing so hard when they were hitting it. Oh, remember when he fell off the window? Where he went boonk and he went,
the frying pan? You could literally use the frying pan to fight them. Yeah.
He said boonk and he went right out the window. He went, So that was, again, there was some funny moments, but again, that was not due to the movie. It was just the way it was shot and everything. But with that said, everything looked spot on. So I gave it a 5. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I think he was really good. He was probably the best performance in the movie. Yeah. And nobody, I wouldn't say anyone was bad. I also think the earlier captain of the good, Sean Pertwee is the actor. I thought he was really good too. Like if they would have went mano a mano, because they were a little older, veteran, but they seemed like their roles really good. But yeah, I thought Davos Seaworth was great in this movie. He has he's in the beginning and you don't quite know what is going on. And then they find him and you still don't quite know what's going on. And then you realize what's going on and he's a werewolf. So, and if I'm going to add it, I would give him alone like a 4. Yeah. Adding in the werewolf element. Yeah, these wolves are great. They're guys in suits, clearly. It looks like maybe they're on stilts, like little stilts, because they have really long legs, especially from the shin down. They look great. They look really, really, really good. This movie had a 2.3 million pound budget. So I don't know what that is in the US, maybe 4 million or something like that. So it's not a lot, but 2.3 million British pounds. And most of it probably went to blowing stuff up and these suits that for the wolves. Honestly, because they're just filming in the woods and in a house. That's it. There's no locations here. There's no city. There's no people. It's trees and a house. With that being said, I thought the wolves were great. I'm a fan of werewolves. As far as the creature feature, subgenres, I tend to like werewolf movies. I like the human that turns into the wolf. This one's cool because the humans are also bad. Sometimes it's people and they don't want to do it. And they're like, no, don't let me turn into a wolf. Yeah, tie me up. And then they turn into a wolf and then they do stuff they don't mean to. These guys ain't those. They're pretty much bad when they're humans. and then they're happy to eat you when they're werewolves. So
Yeah.
they're full on evil. I dug them. I'm going to give the villain aspect a 5 as well. They're a great foil for these soldiers to have to try to survive. So yeah, a lot of fun. I give it a 5 as well. Okay, action.
All right, the action in
Tell
this
your
movie.
truth.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I'm giving this a 2.
Wow. Okay.
From what I remember, it wasn't that much action, and it was very, very low budget action. Now, wolves eating people, I'm not counting that as action because that's not, I mean, there's just wolves eating and attacking people. I don't know where that falls under your category, Nate, but to me, that's not action. I can't, like the dude getting in the car and then he was behind him and then just ate him. So like, does that count as action?
Not really.
Does it? Yeah, right?
No,
It's
I
like,
mean, that's the horror elements. It's not
Right.
really like action in the traditional sense. Yeah.
yeah, so like for me, there was explosions, yes. There was the training, okay. But for me, in terms of action, like this is an action podcast. This is not that type of typical action movie to me. I don't know when you come on, you might have a different point of view. And again, we were watching this as a group, so we were all having fun. So we were not engaged much into the film like we were. And I think if the movie was very engaging, I think the whole British thing, I think it threw off everybody. And like the way the movie was about.
Well,
but anyway,
also there's a lot of talking at the beginning, which if you've
It
never
was
seen it, you may
very
not be
tough.
ready for.
yeah. So with me, there was more of a story-driven type movie than action. I remember the action wasn't as much, but I remember when the wolves were attacking the house. That's why I'm really much giving the 2 because it just reminded me a lot of the old school horror movies with zombies coming into the house, and there was tons of these wolves going in. So I enjoyed that, but it was very not poorly executed, just very amateurish. I guess that's the word I'm trying to look for. To me. I'm not a school teacher. I'm not whatever, but this is his first movie. So looked very amateur in terms of the action. That could be me, but I can't wait to hear what you say. I give it a 2.
Yeah, I'm higher than you, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I gave it a 4, not a 5, a 4. Now, this movie, it is true. The way we watch this, it has effect on this review. Luckily, I've seen this movie before, like other times too. So there's a lot. So you're right. As far as horror elements, because we're doing this because it's October and it's horror elements.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the kills, they're good, they're bloody, but they're not action. But once their wolves start attacking the house, so you have some shooting in the when they're in the outside and the werewolves, first show up, they're shooting and stuff. It's a whatever. But once they get to the house, the action does all involve werewolves trying to basically get in the house and these guys trying to keep them out of the house. But there's a lot of shooting. The one guy gets a sword and he's fighting them with a sword, which was pretty awesome. There's the guy with the frying pan's funny. There's grenades. They blow up the car. They blow up that garage. I guess it's a garage. I don't know.
It was
whatever's the
barn or
British
something.
version of a house in the woods where you park something. I guess it's a garage. They blow that thing up. And it gets pretty bloody and it's pretty awesome. So there's a lot of like fighting. The one guy fights the wolf like hand to hand, which is pretty fun when they're like I think they're in the basement. It's kind of hard to know the geography sometimes in the house because it's kind of dark anyway. So they could be in the basement or they could be in the second floor. I don't remember, but there's some hand to hand stuff. So I think there is a lot of action. It's different. Yes. And it's more small scale, but I think it's executed really well for a first time filmmaker with a low budget, with guys in these crazy werewolf suits, and just alone for the fact that there's a guy running around fighting werewolves with a sword. It's a lot of fun. It is humorous, so maybe that might have an effect too on your score because the movie is very tongue in cheek. Like it is not taking itself serious. There's like a lot of goofy dialogue. There's a lot of weird scenes that are like, and they're intentional. It's pretty funny. So there's not a ton of tension, which might affect it as well. But I liked it a lot. I gave it a 4. You gave it a 2. Okay, storyline.
It's a strong story. From again, it's a very heavy dialogue movie, and you have to be there with nobody around to watch this movie. And that's what I would say. I'm not saying everyone was, we were having fun. It's the first time we were all together. So again, we were all hanging out. But this type of movie is one of those movies you had to be quiet. You had to sit down and really pay attention to what was going from the opening credit to the end credits of the film. So with that said, I'm going to give it a 4 because I think it's a great storyline. I think if I would have paid attention more to it, I think I would have understand more. I understand it was a training mission. They were bringing them in to turn them into wolves, because that's what I think that's what they were doing. They were converting them into wolves. I hope I'm right in that department. Why they were luring them there. I hope it's not to get eaten. But when the other guy got bit, he turned into a wolf. So I kind of figured they were turning into wolves. So now it was. But the way they did it was diabolical. They had this female chick, which was cute in the movie. She lured all these dudes in to get ambushed by their own platoon, turned into wolves. They were just basically eating their own guys, turning them into wolves. So it's like a rotating storyline. So I liked it for that. I thought it was enjoyable. But then there was some scenes there that I was just like, what the hell? Like, remember the dude that they glued his guts together?
Yes.
And he was like holding his hands, and we were all laughing for like a whole half an hour. We were laughing.
His guts
were
like all the way out of his body, and they just pushed him back in and super glued it.
What was our favorite scene? Oh, our favorite scene is when he was in the bed and he was like, punch me in the face, and the guy whacked him.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
He goes, you hit like a woman, and you went, bam!
Like, knock me out. He knocks him out. See, that's the kind of humor like that the movie has. It's like, he's like, punch me, and then we laughed. It was good.
We laughed. We laughed really hard, and he's going, ah, ah, ah.
Yeah,
when he poured the liquor, he's going, ah! Like you could tell, like it was just like, come on, bro, like your guts, you've been done. Like,
he would have been dead initially. I don't know how he survived this long, but then again, he did get attacked by the werewolf, so he started turning, which would heal him. So that helped, but still, they did super glue his guts back.
They used to, but he was like, punch you in the face. But that was played by Alfred from Gotham, which he was funny. But yeah, again, there was a lot of moments that was funny, but there was some serious moments. Look, all in all, the storyline was really good. I could see those werewolf fans that enjoy werewolf film, like horror movies, like Die Hard Werewolves, are very into this type of movie, 80s horror type, like American Werewolf in London. I can see people like that like it. If you're an action guy, I will say personally, this is not a film for you, because this is not a heavy action movie, but it does have a sprinkle of action, but not so much that you could go, this is a certified action film. So for me, this is more leaning towards the horror story element, which I enjoy. Remind me of the Return of the Living Dead type of storyline.
Yeah.
Not too much clowning around, because that was very clowning around.
That one's fun.
But it had that style of shooting. If you really like that whole cheesy, campy horror movie, this had that wolf style. So with that, I'm going to give it his props. I'm going to give it a 4 for great.
Yeah, well said. I think I gave it a 4 as well. I think the storyline's really good. I will agree with you. I think this works best if you're a big fan of both genres. Like, if you really like horror and you really like action, I think it works. If you're more of like just, I'm an action junkie and I'm not really into horror, I don't think you'll get as much out of it. I agree with Alex there. And I think if you love horror and you don't like action that much, it still works as a horror movie. Yeah. So I think the horror fans win out overall with this movie. I will agree with that. Even though I think there's a good amount of action, but the storyline is great. You know, you have this group of soldiers, like you said, and essentially they're trying to like convert more people into, like, they're going to make like an army of werewolves pretty much. Which is cool, I guess. Like, you know, they're pretty hard to kill and stop. I mean, they end up getting stopped, but still, it was really hard. And a lot of people died along the way. So you're right. The thing with the girl is great. You think she's helping them. She takes them back. They want to eat her soup. And then she's like, hey, I didn't say you could have that soup. And then it turns out she's a werewolf. So it's like, I wish you would have ate the soup. And you should have just ate the soup. She turns out to be a werewolf. And, you know, there's some good twisty turnies like that. That was pretty good. The camaraderie with the guys is good. You know, the dialogue scenes really are just there to set up the relationship between the group. And they're the kind of group that's like, you could tell they're friends, but they like talking crap about each other and like messing with each other. I love stuff like that. You get a good solid like 15 or 20 minutes of pretty much that in the woods, just setting it up. Once it kicks into gear, you know what movie this reminded me of? I like your point. This reminded me of a movie like Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, where it's just these people in a hotel and there's the demons and they're trying to get in, and that's kind of like it has like action too, like they're fighting, and it reminded me of that. It had that vibe. So very cheesy premise, very 80s. Early 90s, very Tales from the Crypt, it's Tales from the Crypt without the morality lesson. Yeah. There's no morality play here, but it reminded me of that a little bit. It's a lot of fun, I guess is the best word to describe, but I gave it a 4. Okay, what's your overall?
So overall, to be honest with you, okay, so overall, I'm gonna slap it with a 4, because I'm not gonna deduct points in a lot of the stuff that I saw, because to be really fair, we saw this together. We were having fun. I think if I glued myself to the TV, I would have gave it more of an actual score. But in all, from what I remembered and enjoyed, I think this is a solid film. Now, I think the script was good. I think the way they were shot, I mean, it's a very low budget movie. I mean, it's kind of weird for a 2002 movie. You got a lot of 2002 movies that looked good. This one didn't look as good. So to me, it looked like it was like his first movie for film school. Like, here you go. This is what I have. But maybe that's the look he was going for. I mean, again, it could just be that route. But again, it is what it is. I love the wolves. I think they look so great. I thought the prosthetic, I thought the gore factor was great. I wish it had a little bit more action, but I kind of understand why they didn't go down that route. But other than that, like, would I put this in my collection? I'm gonna be really honest with you. I don't think I would. I don't think I would go back to watching this movie. I wouldn't mind owning it in digital, to be honest with you, like just to have it. But in terms of me owning the physical copy, I can't see myself going, I want to buy $40. Pay $40 for Dog Soldiers. While the guy holds his like guts for like half of the whole movie. No, but with that said, I give it a 4. I think it was a great film.
Yeah, and here's a fun fact for you that you might enjoy. So in the scene where Alfred asks him to punch him, the actor, Cooper, he threw a stage punch the first time, but the second time he actually misjudged the distance and punched him right in the nose. And also it says that Pertwee, that's the actor Sean Pertwee, he didn't feel it because he was actually really drunk for the whole scene. So they got him drunk. He was, and that makes me like it better. It makes me like it better to know that guy that they gave him all that booze, he was just literally drunk. The guy punched him for real. It's that little, it's those little charm. This is a charming movie to me. I think there's a lot of, you're right. It's low budget. It's crazy, but that's like the charm of the movie. I think it's a lot of fun. I've always liked it. If you are going to buy it, definitely get that Scream Factory 4K or the Second Sight 4K, because the Blu-ray, it looks horrible. Because this is cheap. I want to say it may not have been shot on 16 millimeter, but it was definitely shot on film. But it looks like the Blu-ray was terrible. The 4K cleans it up really nice comparatively. So it looks the best that it's ever looked. It's fun. If you like Neil Marshall, he did The Descent, Doomsday, a couple episodes of Game of Thrones, the Hellboy reboot. He has this kind of sense of fun about his movies in general. So I think give it a shot. I gave it a 4 overall too. I think it's a good, solid movie. But yeah, if you're a fan of horror, I think it'll play a little better. If you're just an action person, maybe give it a rent. See if you like it. I don't know. So 4 for me, 4 from you. What is your total points?
18 out of 25?
18. All right. I'm at a 20 out of 25. So I liked it just a hair better. But again, I've seen this before. So I've had the advantage of seeing it in a quiet room without people screaming and yelling. It was fun. We had a fun time, but I got to hear everything and focus. So yes, good time. 20 for me, 18 for you. So here's what we got coming up. Now, moving on, as I said last week, we're moving on from Predator. No more Predator. We're going to Dirty Harry. We're going to I think we're going to San Francisco. I'm pretty sure that's where he lives. So we're going to be doing a little Clint Eastwood, which we haven't done much Clint Eastwood. We did Escape from Alcatraz. And
Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
That's it, I think. 2.
Yeah, that's
We've
it.
only done
Those
2.
are
So
movies.
we're going to do 5 Clint Eastwoods. Get a little tough guy, macho movies in here. And then I'm looking forward to this one. I know you're looking forward to this one. Now, I've seen this movie countless times, but I love this film. One of my favorite directors, Robert Rodriguez. We're going to be doing a little From Dusk Till Dawn. Another one that mixes some action, a lot of shooting in this one, and Tom Savini with his wiener gun, and vampires. So we're going to get a little vampires, a little bit of wiener guns, and we're going to let you know what we think about it. So that's next week. Dirty Harry, From Dusk Till Dawn. That's what you want to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, I love Dusk Till Dawn. So that's
I can't wait to watch
that one.
I love that movie.
When I told my wife,
yeah,
because my wife watches everything that we watch, like to review. So she was like, "What's the next 2 movies?" I was like, "Dirty Harry and From Dusk Till Dawn." She goes, "Well, I don't want to see Dirty Harry, but I'm there from Dusk Till Dawn." So I was like, "All right, cool, we'll do that." But yeah, look, other than that, I can't wait for next week. Again, thank you for everyone that's been listening to us for 200 episodes.
Yes,
okay, that's 200 episodes. We're gonna continue going on even further. We're going to push the envelopes on that and add more action movies for you guys to review more of those stuff. But other than that, guys, if you want to follow us in our social media accounts, please follow Nate over on Instagram at Nate Flips Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything Action Movie Guys, head over to youtube.com/Geeks and Flakes for the video version of the podcast. Head over to our official website at www.geeksandflix.com. We're going to be continuing updating the website. We're going to add more t-shirts there for you guys also. And of course, we have the Action Movie Guys t-shirt. We got the Geeks and Flicks t-shirts. We got mugs. We got phone cases. Man, we got everything there for you guys. All the money there will go right back to the channel. Other than that, he's your host,
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
I'm his co-host, Alex Figueroa. Be awesome to each other and geek out.